Luce. What's up, people? Hola, Caro and JT here. Welcome to another episode. Oh, sorry, Savannah also making like how you go with that?
It's a real baby.
Today we have an episode that is intellectual because we're going to talk about.
So we're very intellectual.
We're trying to be, at least. We're going to talk about happiness. What makes us happy from the perspective of a Latino and Eastern European.
People always love to read those life satisfaction surveys, which region, which country is the happiest, which very often are, richest countries, like, I don't know, or Scandinavian countries.
Switzerland, or Austria.
But then again, at the same time, like general public, they always assume the Southerners are happy, like Latin countries are happy because you don't need anything, you're just happy, right?
Yeah.
And then, Eastern Europeans are known to complain a lot and just be always negative and pessimistic.
Nobody has an opinion that Eastern Europeans are happy.
Yeah, that we don't. But at the same time, surprisingly, the life satisfaction surveys or like levels researched, statistics are going higher and higher in our region, especially in Poland. So we were trying to analyze this.
Wonder. Why is
Who is happier?
I think that is all of us foreigners, especially all of the new Latinos that Poland has imported.
So the key is to understand, is it possible that different things make people happy in different places? Like, are we culturally different when it comes to joy?
Like how happiness is reached by the different avenues. I'm telling you, we are going a level higher intellectually. What was I saying?
Very intellectual.
I'm gonna put this dummy in your mouth next time you're here.
Is it money?
Yeah.
Is it food? Is it love? Is it family? And we want to discuss those differences and those different avenues of happiness.
Latin America ranks surprisingly high when it comes to levels of happiness, especially when you take into consideration the economical situation that the countries face, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the big reasons for this is, number one, we don't focus as much in economic value and
materialistic stuff, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we think about community. We think about being part of a unity, a family,
relationships.
Right? If you don't have money, at least you have your friends that none of them have money. Maybe some of them have money, maybe none of them have money.
No, but we're joking. But yeah, I guess you guys live. We covered that in different videos. You guys live more together as a community. You share the workload. You share responsibilities. You help each other raising kids, things like that.
The interesting thing, and I want to ask you also the perspective of Eastern Europe, because if you take a look when it comes to GDP, etc., a lot of Latin American countries rank surprisingly similar to a lot of countries in Eastern Europe. Okay? Oh, Eastern Central Europe, Poland. What do you think makes such a big difference?
Well, I think we are ranking higher.
Yes, I mean you are, but we're all still kind of like in what they call now emerging economy.
Like you were on C level, we're on B level. All going towards the A, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, economically, Eastern Europe is not the richest. It's not like it's the West.
Yes.
But it's richer. Will it be happier because of that?
Yeah.
Or will be, less happy than Western Europe, let's say, because it's poorer, right? Like we're trying to find the correlation.
Yeah.
Like in Latin America, it doesn't exist. But in Poland or Eastern Europe does it. And actually, it's different here. Life satisfaction levels in Eastern Europe, according to research, are rising as the life standards are rising. So if you have more money, if you have more stability, if there's economy is growing, people are happier. So we are materialistic. That's what it means.
So in other words, for example, the more well-off people are, the happier they find themselves. But
maybe the community doesn't give us joy because we are, as much joy because we are, considered compared to Western Europe, family-oriented, more closer. But I guess there are some historical reasons, or maybe we're comparing ourselves to the Western rich region, so we're like, damn, they have it better than us.
I think that history plays a big role because, of course, there has been conflict in Latin America, but needless to say, never in comparison with what Europe went through, right?
Especially Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe, because let's face it, whole Europe went let's say, through World War One and World War Two. But obviously, Western Europe did not get the memo that that things were going to be better. I mean, like there's still a lot of
Western or Eastern?
Eastern Europe did not get the memo that things were getting better economically. And
you're right about the not getting the memo, because there's a lot of distrust in those societies.
Yes.
So unless you see the numbers growing, you're like,
like very
still
simple.
People are not going to believe that till their life level. I mean, the standards of their living, right, is higher, and they're gonna be like, okay, it's better now, but what about next month or next year?
Yeah,
maybe this new government is not gonna help me. Maybe
trepidation
whatever.
There.
So a lot more
questioning.
Uncertainty, and I guess we don't seek support in community as much as you guys, but we seek it in like practical things, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly. Which again leads us to the next point.
Do we know who's happier? Not yet. We are trying to decide, but stats are very confusing. We are, life satisfaction here in Eastern Europe grows with more money. In your case, it's less related. Why? Like why?
As long as you have your family and your loved ones.
Does it show in people, how people talk about happiness?
100%. You can even find it in the language and sayings. Like for example, we say in Latin America, más vale ser feliz que rico. It's better to be happy than rich.
Okay.
Of course, if you can be happy and rich, is great.
But I guess
we don't associate
understanding
them.
is in culture. It exists.
We don't associate them the same way. In Latin America, there are two concepts. There's rich and there's happy, and they don't come together to the party. You can be happy because you have health, because you have your family, because you have your friends, because you go out and simply enjoy some meal with your loved ones. And that's it. You actually even heard this when you were living there. Someone comes into, you come into some store and you ask the clerk, hermano, ¿cómo está la cosa? And he will tell you, nah, hermano, jodido, pero feliz, contento. I heard that, right?
Yeah.
How about in Poland?
In Eastern Europe, right? Or Poland, we see happiness as something elusive. Ciesz się chwilą, right? Like, be happy with the moment because it will be gone soon.
Yeah.
So, again, like fear and some sort of uncertainty is there.
Yeah.
So, how do we try to tame it by preventing uncertainty?
Yeah.
So Eastern Europeans, we like practical achievements. Let's say we're going to be happy because we built something. We are going to be happy because we fixed something.
Oh, we
solved the problem.
Carolina, my wife says this. When I see a list of things that I need to do, it makes me happy when I finish it.
Yes.
Even if it's a lot of work, doesn't matter. But the fact that I'm going to finish it, that's going to bring me happiness.
If the house is a mess and I clean it, I feel satisfied and I feel happy. I feel like everything is running so smoothly. I can be happy. Yeah. Like let's say a house is going to be in a disarray, and you're going to be dancing in the middle, having a moment with our son, and I'm not going to be able to let go until I clean it, and then I'm dancing after, right? We mentioned how attitudes towards happiness are expressed in languages, right? How we speak, what sayings you guys have, what we have.
Yeah.
I also think that it shows in our temperaments. People argue that it's something you're born with, and having two different children, we agree that it's something you're born with. But certain attitudes and certain non-verbal communication and how you behave is also that you learn by observing your elders or other people around you, right?
Nature versus nurture and how it affects it, right?
Clearly, there's no research about it, but people would say globally, I guess, that, Latino cultures are happy, expressive, they dance, they sing, they like colors, I feel like you guys are more aware that happiness is like an inside job. Like there's the saying, right? That it comes from you. I saw it through you.
Yeah. And through our channel and Instagram, my Instagram account, I talk to a lot of Polish people that are abroad. And many of them that are, for example, in Latin America, they also comment, oh wow, I don't know. Some even say, I could not go back to Poland. People that are so sad. I used to be like that. I cannot believe it. So
believe me, you are still like that.
One thing that is actually interesting, and you mentioned it already, and I think it applies, is how you guys see and understand happiness, right? Like you said that happiness is elusive.
Yeah, and the stability and the practical things that help us affect also our demeanor, right? And our temperament. Like people are more cautious, people are more reserved. Like even it affects the friendships. Like you mentioned that Polish people seem, and a lot of foreigners say, like we feel like a little standoffish. We are not into small talk. We don't say, hi, how are you? Like the Anglo-Saxons do.
Yeah, that is fake, right? That is fake stuff.
That is fake. I'm not going to pretend to be happy if I'm not happy. But our default state is neutral, not happy. And your default state is happy.
The way that I notice is that for you guys, happiness is kind of like hunger. You sometimes are hungry, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not. You don't feel like, oh, my life is happy. It's more like, hey, today I'm happy because I got paid, for example. Or today I'm happy because I hung out with my mom. But then I go back home.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, Mom.
And then I go and I live my life normally, right? But for us, it's more like I am happy.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I did not get paid or I got paid, but I'm happy. I live in this cloud of happiness, that is usually pink. And like you all say, you're living in pink world and everything.
No, we say that you live on a cloud.
On a cloud, the cloud of happiness. There you go.
I also wanted to cover the topic of modesty. There's something that is very highlighted between the American culture and Eastern European culture, and I think you guys fall in this aspect also to the Western American approach. Mm-hmm. How you talk about yourself and your achievements, how you view your talents and things like that.
That is,
the being uncertain, being reserved also comes with being modest. Like we highlight it as a value.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to be talking ourselves up.
Yeah.
We're not going to be too optimistic also because it's somehow related. Like, are you gonna get this job? Well, I don't know. We'll see. For sure, there are people that are better than me, right? It's not I can do it. You can do it. Everything's gonna be great.
Yeah.
For sure, we are changing because the Western culture affects everyone in the world. Mm-hmm. But I think that's also part of the pessimism.
I will tell you something, and now that you say that, it's very interesting because all I can thinking is that mindset and that behavior built Europe, built the world. Mm-hmm. It was hard work, difficult times, the task needed to be done, and someone needed to do it. Someone would spend their whole life putting horseshoe on horses. Yeah. That's it. They're not thinking, does it make me happy? No, doesn't matter. It's a task. It needs to be done. That's it. And that built Europe. But you know what built the West, the United States? The neuro-linguistic programming of understanding that, hey, I'm good, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And you say so much that you believe it. Yeah. And then you go and you do it. Because what happens with the mindset of that happens in Eastern Europe is that very often dreams get just buried. If you want to sing, maybe initially you're not a good singer, but you can train it, right? Yeah. But somebody, your dad, your brother is going to say, you're singing.
I also think that different type of people build those cultures. Different type of people left Europe to discover the world, or to discover that it was there, but I mean like to move there and start in a new place where there are other people already, when their land is different. When we start from fresh, we don't want this old Europe and everyone doing things the same and repeat.
So you think that the happier people left?
I think not the happier. I think people that are more dreamers, maybe people that are more daring. For sure, it has to. There must be a reason why Americans are different than British, even though at the beginning they were the same people, right? Obviously now there are a lot other immigrants that also brought their elements of their cultures there. But it's all under the umbrella of American dream. Yeah. And this mindset of confidence and pursuing things.
But the interesting thing is that mindset is, of course, it's prevalent. Even here in Poland, you see newer generation, younger generation using words and expressions to believe in yourself. There are creators.
Mental health awareness. All those things started happening because of the internet and how an English language that is global and kind of bridged.
But tell me something, because you have insight into the Polish internet. So whenever there's, let's say, an influencer, when you have a person that is a speaker and they are talking about self-confidence and belief and all those Western concepts, Is it being embraced?
In Eastern Europe, still there's a lot focus on, like we said, stability, practicality. So if this person is prepared, so do you have a degree to talk about it? If not, I don't trust you. Do you have a big success behind you, like, or you just a son of someone that you inherited something? Then we don't know. Are you just famous because you are superficial, right? So you're pretty, or you had a revealing photo shoot or something like about women, right?
Yeah.
Are you commercial? Are you doing things just to get popularity or just to get money? Then your art is not real. So there is still a lot of this old school academic approach, but also this practical approach, and very distrustful.
So it all still has to come from a source of
reliability. Yeah. Content that I've seen comments, there are a lot more skeptical and a lot more negative, because this person is claiming that they are someone, but we don't know. In America, a lot more people that are successful just because
they just made up their success.
The Kardashians would never happen in this country.
Well, now Kim is a lawyer and she's getting people out of jail.
Sure. But in America, something like that would happen. They're pretty, they're rich.
Yeah, sure.
They're pretty, they're rich. They put themselves out there very much. In Poland, they might have, a fraction of people who talk about them, like Pudelek, and they probably get opportunities because they have recognition, but it would not, it would not be as huge as there.
Okay,
so.
I understand.
Okay, my question is it the happiness that, our cultures feel good only in that region? Like, let's say, or do they give you something, some tools that can be used in different cultures? Like, what positives do you think your type of happiness brings you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that the answer to that is resilience.
So, like, the optimism gives you resilience, right? And confidence.
Exactly, and we believe in our happiness. We believe in. We go around the world, and if you feel
spreading the joy,
if you feel happy, it is something that is not going to be, for the most part, taken away from you. It's an internal state.
Okay.
But the interesting part of your question is what happens to a lot of Latinos that, for example, move to countries like Poland, where we face sometimes a little bit of that negative feedback. Yeah, a little bit of, and you're trying to be happy, and people are like,
well, why is he so happy?
Because I've talked to Latinos, for example, that are married to Poles.
If that happens, because at the same time, a lot of Polish people understand that you come from a different planet, so you have the right to be a little local, right?
Kind of. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But it's still, compared to how we live our lives in our countries, there's an adaptation period that needs to happen. Like, that's for a fact. Like, if I go to Selgros or Biedronka, and the lady, doesn't matter if I smile to her and I ask her, "Dzień dobry, jak tam?" And she looks at me like, next time I go there, maybe I might not say anything to her. And that is already affecting.
But maybe next time you come and you say it, she's going to already know. You should be like, okay, hi.
Which happens.
And have a half smile.
Which happens. And that is the part, then that is the answer that I have to give you. Even if momentarily we have to adapt our output of happiness, it will always come back.
Yeah.
If you give me a smile after 5 times that we saw each other and you were serious, that one time that you gave me a smile is enough for me to go, there we go, now we got something going. You know what I mean? Now, and I think that you guys are the first time that you get the look, it's like, I don't like this person. That's it. I'm not going to go to that cashier. I'm going to go to the other one.
Yeah, I'll be fighting with them. Like, I'm smiling at this lady. Why is she not nice?
Yeah. Okay, but how about in your culture?
Our approach to happiness, it gives us what we are looking for, practical fruits, right? So we will fix it, it will be fixed.
Yeah.
We will work and we will make this money. We will create whatever project that we want to create. That's our focus, and this brings us joy, which in the long run is a perpetuum mobile. So now the country is getting better.
Whoa, what is that
we
sentence?
fix more problems. Perpetuum mobile is it's something that runs itself, the energy that runs itself. So you fix practical problems, you're happy. When you're happier, you fix more problems, the country is richer, you are richer, you're more happy, and it's just on and on and on. I think that's sad, and not sadly, but interestingly enough, this practicality about happiness is also that we don't view it as essential to life. because, you know, it's so fleeting, right?
Yes, that is incredible.
We are okay being in the state of melancholy. Like, you can see it, and it's another topic that we wanted to compare.
Yeah.
In our artistic expression, cultural expression, so music, art, you know, paintings, literature, books, poems, we are okay sitting in our sadness. We are okay sitting in some sort of, we are overcoming
I think you guys,
sadness.
If someone had two platters, and one was melancholy and the right to feel sad and express it, and happiness, which one you going to give away forever?
We always will think that this one is more deep.
Yes, take away the happiness. I can be not happy, but I need to express that I am sad.
In the topic of art, there's something funny about literature in the world, different types of literature. So American books are about how to die for freedom.
Yeah.
French books are about how to die of love. And Russian books are about how to die. That is the summary.
For example, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, one of the most celebrated literatos of Latin America, wrote in his book 100 Years of Solitude that it's not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams.
Yeah.
So it shows you that the happiness, it's what gets you. It's what gets you to whatever it is that you're going.
In Eastern Europe, it's more, maybe you'll find happiness if you power through all the struggles and melancholy of life. We have a Russian novelist, Fyodor Dostoevsky, said, man only likes to count his troubles. He doesn't calculate his happiness. Very enthusiastic. You know, it shows the introspection of Eastern European culture and art. It shows how we are practical to fix the sadness to get to the happiness at the end, hopefully, maybe.
Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of this episode. I hope you learned something. Did you learn
to be happy?
Are you happier after this episode? Let us know in the comments
what makes
your
you
thoughts.
Happy?
Yeah, tell us the one thing that makes you happy. Maybe that's just having a
and tell us
clean
where
house.
You're from to see, you know, if our theories are true.
Exactly.
ChatGPT. Bye.
Bye-bye.